Hi friends, and welcome to Storytime with Danya. Let's dive into a magical world of stories, adventures and fun. Are you ready? Let's begin! Goldilocks and the Three Bears, retold by Sarah Delmege. Once upon a time, Goldilocks was playing in the woods near her home. As she skipped along the pebbly path, her golden locks bouncing, Goldilocks suddenly stopped and sniffed the air. A yummy smell was coming from the middle of the woods. Rumble, rumble. As her tummy grumbled loudly, Goldilocks followed the delicious smell. She soon found herself in front of a little house. "I wonder who lives here," she said. Goldilocks knocked loudly on the front door. Knock, knock, knock. But on the last knock, the door swung open. There was no one at home. Goldilocks saw 3 bowls of porridge on the kitchen table. "I'm sure no one will mind if I have a little taste of this porridge," she told herself. Goldilocks ate a spoonful of porridge from the biggest bowl. "Yuck!" she cried. "This porridge is much too cold." Goldilocks tried the medium-sized bowl. "Ouch!" she gasped. "This porridge is much too hot." Finally, Goldilocks took a little mouthful from the smallest bowl. She sighed. "This porridge is perfect." And she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks went into the living room for a rest. She saw a big chair, a medium-sized chair, and a tiny little chair. Goldilocks climbed onto the biggest chair. "This chair is too big," she said. Next, Goldilocks clambered onto the medium-sized chair. The cushions were very squishy. "This chair is too soft," she cried. Then Goldilocks tried the tiny chair. "This chair is perfect," beamed Goldilocks. She was just getting comfortable when, crack! The chair broke into pieces. "Oh no!" Goldilocks gasped. "Perhaps I should lie down instead." Upstairs, Goldilocks found a big bed, a medium-sized bed, and a tiny little bed. When she jumped on the big bed, it was too hard. The medium-sized bed was too soft for bouncing, and the little bed was perfect. Goldilocks sighed happily, and the little girl crawled under the covers and fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, 3 hungry bears returned to the little house. They had been for a walk while their hot porridge cooled down. But the door was already open, and there were muddy footprints in the hall.
"Someone's been eating my porridge," roared Daddy Bear.
"Someone's been eating my porridge too," growled Mummy Bear. "Look," squeaked Baby Bear. "My porridge is all gone." The three bears went into the living room.
Someone's been sitting in my chair,
roared Daddy Bear. Someone's been sitting in my chair too, growled Mummy Bear. Someone's been sitting in my chair, squeaked Baby Bear, and they've broken it. Suddenly, the three bears heard a noise coming from upstairs.
Someone's been sleeping in my bed,
roared Daddy Bear as he stepped into the bedroom. Someone's been sleeping in my bed too, growled Mummy Bear, straightening the cover. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, squeaked Baby Bear, and she's still there. Goldilocks woke up with a start and screamed. The three bears watched in surprise as she ran off through the forest as fast as her little legs would carry her. And guess what? The three bears never saw Goldilocks again. The end. The Three Little Pigs, illustrated by Giuseppe Di Lerna, written and retold by Claire Lloyd. On the edge of a beautiful forest lived a mummy pig, a daddy pig, and 3 little pigs. The time had come for the 3 little pigs to leave home. "Watch out for the big bad wolf," warned the daddy pig as he waved goodbye. The 3 little pigs hadn't walked far when the first little pig grew tired. "This will do," yawned the lazy little pig. He quickly built a house from straw that was laying nearby. It wasn't long before the second little pig stopped walking and looked around her. "This will do," she said, and swiftly built a house from the sticks and branches that were scattered around her. The third little pig walked on and on and on. Finally, he found a pretty area of land by a stream. It was the perfect place to build his house. The third little pig decided to build a strong brick house to keep him safe from the wolf. He drew plans. He bought the best bricks he could find. And finally, after weeks of hard work, he stood back and admired his beautiful new home. Meanwhile, the hungry big bad wolf came across the first little pig resting in his house of straw.
little pig, let me come in,"
said the wolf. "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," cried the first little pig.
"Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,"
howled the hungry wolf. So the big bad wolf huffed and he puffed, and the tiny straw house came tumbling down. The little pig ran as fast as he could until he arrived at the house made of sticks. The big bad wolf snuck up to the house.
Little pigs, let me come in,"
he growled. "Not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins," cried the frightened little pigs.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,
howled the hungry wolf. So the big bad wolf huffed and he puffed, and the wobbly stick house came tumbling down. The two little pigs ran on and on and on until they finally reached the third little pig's house. "Don't worry, we are safe in my strong brick house," said the third little pig as they heard a bang at the door.
Little pigs, let me come in,"
said a familiar voice. It was the wolf. "Not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins," cried the three little pigs.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,
howled the hungry wolf. So the big bad wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but nothing happened. The house didn't even wobble. The wolf was furious and very hungry. He climbed up onto the roof and jumped down the chimney. Splash! The wolf landed in a pot of boiling hot soup and burned his long furry tail on the fire. He leapt out of the chimney and ran away as quickly as he could. As for the little pigs, they lived happily ever after in their house made of bricks. They never ever saw the big bad wolf again. The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss. The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two. And I said, "How I wish we had something to do. Too wet to go out and too cold to play ball." So we sat in the house. We did nothing at all. So all we could do was to sit, 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 sit. And we did not like it, not one little bit. And then something went bump. How that bump made us jump. We looked, then we saw him step in on the mat. We looked, and we saw him, the cat in the hat. And he said to us, "Why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet, and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny." "I know some good games we could play," said the cat. "I know some new tricks," said the cat in the hat. "A lot of good tricks. I will show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do." Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. But our fish said, "No, no! Make that cat go away. Tell that cat in the hat you do not want to play. He should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out." "Now, now, have no fear, have no fear," said the cat. "My tricks are not bad," said the cat in the hat. Why, we can have lots of good fun if you wish, with a game that I call Up, Up, Up with a Fish. Put me down, said the fish. This is no fun at all. Put me down, said the fish. I do not wish to fall. Have no fear, said the cat. I will not let you fall. I will hold you up high, as I stand on a ball, with a book on one hand and a cup on my hat. But that is not all I can do, said the cat. Look at me now, said the cat. With a cup and a cake on the top of my hat, I can hold up 2 books. I can hold up the fish, and a little toy ship, and some milk on a dish. And look, I can hop up and down on the ball. But that is not all, oh no, that is not all. Look at me, look at me, look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I can hold up the cup, and the milk and the cake. I can hold up these books and the fish on a rake. I can hold the toy ship and a little toy man. And look, with my tail, I can hold a red fan. I can fan with the fan as I hop on the ball. But that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. That is what the cat said. Then he fell on his head. He came down with a bump from up there on the ball, and Sally and I, we saw all the things fall. And our fish came down too. He fell into a pot. He said, "Do I like this? Oh no, I do not. This is not a good game," said our fish as he lit. "No, I do not like it. Not one little bit." "Now look what you did," said the fish to the cat. "Now look at this house. Look at this. Look at that. You sank our toy ship, sank it deep in the cake. You shook up our house and you bent our new rake. You should not be here when our mother is not. You get out of this house," said the fish in the pot. "But I like it here. Oh, I like it a lot," said the cat in the hat to the fish in the pot. "I will not go away. I do not wish to go." "And so," said the cat in the hat, so, "I will show you another good game that I know." And he ran out, and then, fast as a fox, the cat in the hat came back in with a box. A big red wood box. It was shut with a hook. "Now look at this trick," said the cat. "Take a look." Then he got up on top with a tip on his hat. "I call this game fun in a box," said the cat. "In this box are 2 things. I will show to you now. You will like these 2 things," said the cat with a bow. "I will pick up the hook. You will see something new. 2 things, and I call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. These things will not bite you. They want to have fun." Then, out of the box came Thing 2 and Thing 1, and they ran to us fast. They said, "How do you do? Would you like to shake hands with Thing 1 and Thing 2? And Sally and I did not know what to do. So we had to shake hands with Thing 1 and Thing 2. We shook their 2 hands, but our fish said, "No, those things should not be in this house. Make them go. They should not be here when your mother is not. Put them out, said the fish in the pot. "Have no fear, little fish," said the Cat in the Hat. "These things are good things." And he gave them a pat. "They are tame, oh so tame. They have come here to play. They will give you some fun on this wet, wet, wet day." "Now, here is a game that they like," said the Cat. "They like to fly kites," said the Cat in the Hat. "No, not in the house," said the fish in the pot. "They should not fly kites in a house. They should not. Oh, the things they will bump. Oh, the things they will hit. Oh, I do not like it. Not one little bit." Then Sally and I saw them run down the hall. We saw those two things bump their kites on the wall. Bump, thump, thump, bump, down the wall, in the hall. Thing 2 and Thing 1, they ran up, they ran down. On the string of one kite, we saw Mother's new gown. Her gown with the dots that are pink, white and red. Then we saw one kite bump on the head of her bed. Then those things ran about with big bumps, jumps and kicks, and with hops and big thumps and all kinds of bad tricks. And I said, "I do not like the way that they play. If Mother could see this, oh, what would she say?" Then our fish said, "Look, look!" And our fish shook with fear. "Your mother is on her way home. Do you hear? Oh, what will she do to us? What will she say? Oh, she will not like it to find us this way." "So do something, fast," said the fish. "Do you hear? I saw her, your mother is near. So, as fast as you can, think of something to do. You will have to get rid of Thing 1 and Thing 2. So, as fast as I could, I went after my net, and I said, "With my net, I can get them, I bet. With my net, I can get those things yet." Then I let down my net. It came down with a plop, and I had them at last. Those two things had to stop. Then I said to the cat, "Now, you do as I say. You pack up these things and you take them away." "Oh dear," said the cat, "you did not like our game. Oh dear, what a shame, what a shame, what a shame." Then he shut up the things in the box with the hook, and the cat went away with a sad kind of look. "That is good," said the fish. "He has gone away, yes, but your mother will come. She will find this big mess, and this mess is so big and so deep and so tall. We cannot pick it up. There is no way at all." And then, who was back in the house? Why, the cat. "Have no fear of this mess," said the Cat in the Hat. "I always pick up my playthings, and so I will show you another good trick that I know." Then we saw him pick up all the things that were down. He picked up the cake, and the rake, and the gown, and the milk, and the strings, and the books, and the dish, and the fan, and the cup, and the ship, and the fish, and he put them away. Then he said, "That is that." And then he was gone with a tip of his hat. Then our mother came in, and she said to us too, Did you have any fun? Tell me, what did you do? And Sally and I did not know what to say. Should we tell her the things that went on there that day? Should we tell her about it? Now, what should we do? Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? The end. The Smartest Giant in Town by Julia Donaldson. George was a giant, the scruffiest giant in town. He always wore the same pair of old brown sandals and the same old patched up gown. "I wish I wasn't the scruffiest giant in town," he said sadly. But one day, George noticed a new shop. It was full of smart clothes. So he bought a smart shirt, a smart pair of trousers, a smart belt, a smart stripy tie, some smart socks with diamonds up the sides, and a pair of smart, shiny shoes. "Now I'm the smartest giant in town," he said proudly. George left his old clothes behind in the shop. He was about to go home when he heard a sound. On the pavement stood a giraffe who was sniffing sadly. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my neck," said the giraffe. "It's so very long and so very cold. I wish I had a long, warm scarf." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his stripy tie. "It didn't match my socks anyway," he said, as he wound it round and round the giraffe's neck. It made a wonderful scarf. "Thank you," said the giraffe. As George strode towards home, he sang to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, but look me up and down. I'm the smartest giant in town." George came to a river. On a boat stood a goat who was bleating loudly. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sail," said the goat. "It blew away in a storm. I wish I had a strong new sail for my boat." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his new white shirt. "It kept coming untucked anyway," he said, as he tied it to the mast of the goat's boat. It made a magnificent sail. "Thank you," said the goat. George strode on, singing to himself. "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, my shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat, but look me up and down. I'm the smartest giant in town." George came to a tiny ruined house. Beside the house stood a white mouse with lots of baby mice. They were all squeaking. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's our house," squeaked the mother mouse. "It burned down, and now we have nowhere to live. I wish we had a nice new house."
"Cheer up,"
said George, and he took off one of his shiny shoes.
"It was giving me blisters anyway,"
he said. As the mouse and her babies scrambled inside, the shoe made a perfect home for them. "Thank you," they squeaked. George had to hop along the road now, but he didn't mind. As he hopped, he sang to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, my shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat, my shoe is a house for a little white mouse. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town." George came to a campsite. Beside a tent stood a fox who was crying. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sleeping bag," said the fox. "I dropped it in a puddle. I wish I had a warm, dry sleeping bag."
"Cheer up,"
said George, and he took off one of his socks with diamonds up the sides.
"It was tickling my toes anyway,"
he said. As the fox snuggled into it, it made a very fine sleeping bag. "Thank you," said the fox. George hopped on, singing to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, my shirt's on a bolt as a sail for a goat, my shoe is a house for a little white mouse, one of my socks is a bed for a fox. But look me up and down, I'm the smartest giant in town." George came to a big, squelchy bog. Beside the bog stood a dog who was howling. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's this bog," said the dog. "I need to get across, but I keep getting stuck in the mud. I wish there was a safe, dry path."
"Cheer up,"
said George, and he took off his smart new belt. "It was squashing my tummy anyway," he said. As he laid it down over the bog, it made an excellent path. "Thank you," said the dog. The wind started to blow, but George didn't mind. He hopped on, singing to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, my shirt's on a boat as a sail for a goat, my shoe is a house for a little white mouse, one of my socks is a bed for a fox, my belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog, but..." "My trousers are falling down. I'm the coldest giant in town." Suddenly, George felt sad and shivery and not at all smart. He stood on one foot and thought, "I'll have to go back to the shop and buy some more clothes," he decided. He turned round and hopped all the way back to the shop. But when he got there, it was closed. "Oh no!" cried George. He sank down onto the doorstep and a tear ran down his nose. He felt as sad as all the animals he had met on his way home. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw a bag of something familiar poking out the top. George took a closer look. "My gown!" he yelled. My dear old gown and sandals. George put them on. They felt wonderfully comfortable. I'm the cosiest giant in town, he cried, and he danced back home along the road. Outside his front door stood all the animals he had helped. They were carrying an enormous present. Come on, George, they said. Open it. George untied the ribbon. Inside was a beautiful gold paper crown and a card. Look inside the card, George, said the animals. George put the crown on his head and opened the card. Inside it said, You gave your scarf to a cold giraffe, your shirts on a boat as a sail for a goat. Your shoe is a house for a little white mouse. One of your socks is a bed for a fox. Your belt helped a dog. He was crossing a bog. So here is a very fine crown to go with the sandals and gown of the kindest giant in town. Thank you for reading with me. See you next time for more fun and stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.